Hi, John McElroy here, talking all things automotive. Today I'm talking with Todd Rabourn. He's a senior director of Ford Customer Service, or how should I say it, Todd?
That's it. You got it.
Okay. I'm talking to you today because I only recently learned about Ford Mobility Service. How long have you been doing this?
Yeah, so we started mobile service with a pilot of 100 dealers in September of 2019, just before COVID hit, and we scaled up. Obviously, the pandemic, accelerated some of the customer behaviors and desires, and so it was good timing. But that's when we started to scale up mobile service and pickup and delivery for our customers.
So explain the service, because this is kind of really unique, right? You will send service vans out to just regular customers to have their vehicles serviced.
That's right. We've got a network. Just under 2,000 of our dealers have over 4,300 vans or mobile service units, and we will come to a customer's home or place of business or where it's convenient for them, and we'll do the service on site. And if we can't do the service on site because it's more complex or we find something different, then we'll get it scheduled to come into the shop when it's convenient for the customer. But it is about making it easy for the customer and convenient for them, and doing the service when and where it's easy for them.
What kind of service are you providing?
Yeah, there's a few basic services, but any of the maintenance, light repair type of service. Obviously, many of our recalls can be done via mobile service as well too. So, software updates, diagnostics, oil changes, brakes, batteries. We'll do tire rotations, and we are even launching tire vans to do some tire changes as well too. But and testing that out.
So, why did Ford start doing this?
Yeah, I think, we were looking for ways to make service easy for our customers, or easier for our customers, right? We know, it's usually when a vehicle needs service, it's not something many customers want to have to deal with. So how can we make it easy for them? In the age of convenience, whether that's, the DoorDashes of the world, or you see consumer preferences changing. We wanted to get in front of that and test out some concepts, and this was one that seems to work and work pretty well, because the sentiment from the customers is outstanding, right? And it's proven to be kind of a game changer for us in terms of differentiating the brand and differentiating our dealer network.
Yeah, I got to believe this is something that Ford was doing, from just a customer retention standpoint, or even maybe enticing all new buyers into the brand.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, it starts with retention. We want to take care of our owners, but we are seeing some really great results over time in terms of this turning into incremental vehicle sales too, right? So it's retaining overall loyalty to the brand as well too, and that's what's really exciting. And we can spend a lot of money on advertising and talking about how great the company is and the things we're doing, but word of mouth, is so important. And again, that customer sentiment is huge. So we really love, to hear that feedback from the customers as well too. And see customers sharing on social media. And we've had examples of doing this service in a customer's driveway, and a neighbor coming out and saying, well, what is that? I might be driving a Ford. Would you do the service for my vehicle? Absolutely. Right. So,
oh, no kidding. So you're doing more than just Fords.
That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it hard to get parts or technical information on other brands?
No, I mean, our dealers are pretty resourceful and have ways to do that. Of course, we've got some parts that have applications for competitive make vehicles as well too. So we have some of those parts in stock on our shelves as well too. But yeah, and for our fleet customers, many of them have multiple brands, and we want to be able to be the brand of choice for that service and turn that into more Ford vehicles in their fleet.
Yeah, and what's the split between fleet and retail? I mean, just guessing, I would think that fleet customers would really be all over this, and maybe that's where more of your focus is.
Yeah, interesting enough, I think fleet customers are all over this, and we're really working to build that out more robustly. Right now, about 40% of the volume is fleet customers and 60% is retail, but we see a lot of growth opportunities in the fleet business. And again, many of the larger fleet customers, they're asking for this service. So, that's where the growth is coming from as we go forward.
Do you charge customers a premium to come out and get an oil change or windshield wipers or anything like that?
We do not. Yeah. So part of the program we set up is the service itself is complimentary. Of course, you pay for the repairs or whatever is being done, but there's no upcharge for having a van come out or having that pickup and delivery event completed.
How have your dealers reacted to this? I mean, this is sort of competing with their service bays at the dealership, right?
Yeah, well, look, it's a great way to add capacity quickly, and less expensive than adding brick and mortar in some cases. So, it's been a capacity expansion for many of the dealers. Like I said, we've got, over 1,900 dealers that are participating in mobile service alone. So, the dealer adoption and the partnership with our dealer network has been outstanding over the past couple of years as we've scaled this up.
So this is really another profit opportunity for dealers, not just extra cost to treat the customer better.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, it's important that many of our dealers are looking at this as the long-term play, as we talked about, right? I mean, not just taking care of the customer event at that time on the balance sheet, but also what it does for loyalty, return business, for both sales or for both service and, sales long-term as well. So
yeah, and tell me about some of the retail customer experience. You said somebody might go out and see a neighbor's car being repaired and be interested in it, but I'm wondering what your own customers are thinking about it.
yeah, we look at net promoter score, right? And the net promoter scores are 10 to 12 points higher on mobile service events than a traditional service event, right? Which is phenomenal. There's very few things where you can point to 10 or 12 points lift in net promoter scores. And when we look at the sentiment maps, I mean, they are extremely positive comments. I think when we first started this, some customers weren't sure that we were really offering mobile service until they tried it, right? But once they try it, the feedback has been really good. In fact, even some of the negative comments are more about, I wish I could do this, more often, right? So even some of the negatives are positive comments in terms of what this service provides for the customers.
Yeah. Now, I know you're in charge of this for North America. What are Ford's plans outside of the U.S.?
Yeah, so we have scaled this up globally, and we've got mobile service operations in Europe, and in our overseas markets, in Thailand and other markets around the world. So Canada's starting and Mexico's starting it. So we've got mobile service operations that are growing. In the U.S., we did call it 3.8 million experiences last year between, again, mobile service and pickup and delivery. Globally, we're over 5 million remote experiences. So yeah, it's really been great to see the growth the last couple of years.
What's your growth rate if you did that many?
Yeah, well, we're kind of double as last couple of years, but for 25, we're up about 10% over the prior year, and we expect to see similar growth this year as well too. So we'll continue to grow and add capability to the program.
Very interesting. As you know, there's a tech shortage out there. Every single dealership, doesn't matter what brand you're talking about, is screaming they can't get the people they need. How are you getting the techs to run these mobile service vans?
Yeah, well, look, we spent a lot of time with our dealer and our dealer council on what are the right things we need to do to recruit more technicians for the entire network, not just mobile service, but certainly mobile services included. And the great thing is we've added, over the last couple of years, we've added over 11,000 technicians. And mobile service really offers it could be an entry point or it could be a transition point for people coming from other industries. But it's kind of that career progression. So we've got a career path that we can offer technicians, and mobile service is a key part of that too.
When you say career path, I imagine if you're doing basic maintenance, it's you don't have to be a master mechanic, so to speak, to
That's
be able
right.
to do that. So you get them in doing this, and then you can train them to do more involved repair work in the future.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Or for some of our longer tenured techs, right? This is a good way to maybe get out of the heavier repair that they don't want to do, and they transition to the van. And it's like operating your own business as well too, right? So the techs that we have out there in mobile service, they have a lot of pride in what they're doing, and they get to interface with the customer. And there's some really great stories even from the technician's standpoint. I mean, we've had one dealer in particular told me about a time where his techs were getting tips from customers, right? And now customers will call by name. Hey, I want John to come out and do the service again. So they're developing a relationship with the customers that you traditionally don't always see when you're in the bay doing the work.
Yeah, I got to believe, though, it's also weather dependent, right? If it's single digits outside, freezing cold, maybe you don't want to make a mobile service call.
Yeah. Those are some of the challenges at times, and different dealers handle that a little bit differently. But yeah, when it gets into the single digits and some of that, I mean, they might move the appointments. But we also have some pretty innovative dealers out there that are making it easier for their techs to do it in colder weather climates, or even in the hotter weather in the summer, right? So whether that be a tarp or an awning, or some type of support to make sure you can do it in those different weather events.
And because they're doing basic service, I guess it really doesn't matter if the vehicle's electric, plug-in electric, or just a
That's
regular
right.
old ICE vehicle.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So we can do, again, if the vehicle doesn't need a lift, we can do much of the work regardless of the powertrain type, right? So that's the great thing about the service.
Yeah, very interesting. It's amazing. I saw a television commercial about it, and
Yeah.
that's what prompted this interview. I had no idea Ford's been doing it this long. You got to get the word out more.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're trying, right? And so I'm glad you saw the commercial, because that's one of the ways that we're trying to get that word out. Obviously, word of mouth is big with the customers that have had it. But we've got the largest mobile service network in the industry. We've got, most of our dealers are active in this space and see the growth. And, we've got dealers that are really pushing the envelope. I mean, our largest dealer has a fleet of, over 45 vehicles, mobile service vehicles. So they are out, and most of our dealers have more than 2 units as well. So that, it continues to grow, and the capabilities there, and we're offering it to more and more customers.
Yeah, and I'm just picking up on your own words. You see this, or Ford Motor Company sees this as a real differentiator versus others. Are others doing this?
Yeah, and we've seen examples. We look at the competition. I mean, there are other OEMs that have gotten into this space, and there are some that are doing it, not quite to the scale we have, but we see a lot of aftermarket companies trying to get in this space as well too. And so this is, again, a way of, as you said it earlier, right, a way of retaining our customers. Again, we want to make it sure it's easy for them, and come back and do service at our dealers.
That's right. Todd, what am I missing here? Anything else to add?
Well, look, I think, one thing I'd say is really proud of our dealer network and the partnership they've had, because change isn't always easy. Our dealers have embraced this. They've seen what it can do for their shops, freeing up that capacity, taking some of that lighter repair work out of the shop, making the shop more productive with richer work, making it easy for the customers to do business. And then, the next front for us is making it more efficient through digital tools or AI, to make it that much easier to schedule for the customer, and much more efficient for the dealers to kind of operate their routes and grow the business that way. So, this will continue to be something that Ford focuses on and continues to grow and show up for our customers the right way.
Real good. Todd Rabourn, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Do you want to see the automotive industry grow and thrive? So do we. That's why we dedicate our shows to providing the people in the industry with important data and information, and access to the people who are driving the industry forward with the guests that we bring on our shows and the interviews that we conduct. But we need your help to continue doing it. That's why I'm asking you to support Autoline with a YouTube or Patreon membership. It'll get you extra content that will be available only to members, but it will especially make sure that you and Autoline continue to drive the automotive industry forward.